Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Sorry.
Yeah, we could go.
Okay. Today is Wednesday, September 8th, and the time is 10:02 a.m. Sorry, I'm all sideways on this. Is it September 8th too? I don't have that in front of me either. Would those commissioners who are in attendance please identify themselves and state as to whether they are here via telephone or Google Meets or in person?
This is Joe Pennington. I'm participating via Google Meets.
This is Eric Feinstein. I'm also here by Google Meets.
And this is Scott Fletcher. I have called in miraculously and made it in. So thank you for bearing with me in that. Let's go into our old business. B is our old business. B1 is the COVID update with Dr. Ken Oda. Doctor, are you with us?
I am here. I am on camera.
Oh, very good. We appreciate your time and input. Please, the floor is yours.
Sure. Thank you. Carlo asked me to give an update on the COVID lay of the land right now, and just to make some comment about kind of the COVID restrictions that are in place, the safety precautions that are in place for the events that we have. So I queried the Arizona Department of Health's website just last night to get some numbers. And it turns out that approximately 56% of the state is vaccinated, which is over 3.6 million of us. To kind of provide a history, obviously we had our surge, our giant surge in the summer of 2020. We had another one in the winter of 2020, and now we're in our third, hopefully final, but we don't really know that, the third surge, which is currently going on. Some more statistics. 7% of the cases of COVID right now become hospitalized. 32% of the ICU beds in our state are for the treatment of patients with COVID-19. Over 90-something% of those patients that are in the that are hospitalized for COVID-19 are unvaccinated. 59% of the ICU beds in use in Arizona are for conditions other than COVID-19, which means only 9% of the ICU beds are actually available in our state. One of the things that I don't know if it's discussed very much, but there's quite a nursing shortage right now. So I wonder if this 9% is even lower. There have been a total of approximately 1 million cases of COVID-19 in our state and 19,000 deaths. That puts us at a rate of, if my calculation is correct, let me just double check it. That's 1.9% death rate. Now, Arizona, we have quite an elderly population, so that could explain why our death rate is a bit higher than what it is on average across the nation, which is about 0.3%. So all of this to say that we're definitely not out of the woods with this thing. The literature has shown us, and our experience historically in the hospital now, in the hospital systems, that vaccination is important. The point of all this today is not really to talk about vaccination, but rather what we're doing at our events. So vaccination surely is one very important shield for this infection, acquiring this infection. Masks are yet just another type of shield. So I think at this time, I think we're doing a great job, by the way. I think we do need to continue what we're doing for the sake of safety at our events. And as this surge hopefully comes to an end, perhaps we can discuss what our next, what we'll do going forward.
Thank you, Doctor. Commissioners, thoughts, questions for Dr. Oda?
Yeah, I have a question. You know, at the event, it's been, you know, pretty clear that the only people that are really masked are the commission officials. And I'm wondering from a public health standpoint, I'm guessing that that doesn't really have much of an impact when there's, you know, thousands of unmasked fans in close proximity all around us. While I think that masking significantly contributes to the transmissibility of the virus, I'm wondering if there's any benefit to having a mandate for just such a small proportion of the people that are at the event. And I think it would be great if everybody at the events were masked, but I think it's pretty clear that politically that's just not going to happen. So I was just sort of wondering about the utility of just a few people masking, if is that symbolic of us just saying this is the right thing to do, so we're going to do it, although the choice is up to everybody else.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I suppose in a perfect world, the way that we would have it, if everybody had sort of this village mentality that, look, we're all in this together. Let's just get through this. We'll do what we have to do, even though we don't want to do it. Does it really cause that much of a nuisance or harm to just mask? That's how I would have it. But you're right. I think there's going to be not necessarily problems, but I don't think we'll be able to get everybody in the venue to mask. We could say that it's recommended, and hopefully, though some will, maybe some won't. I do believe that what we're doing as a commission for the few of us that are masking, is it having any significant impact on the numbers? I doubt it. But I guess that's open to discussion, how everyone else feels about that. Yeah, I guess that's my take on it.
I know we can't request the venues to ask them to wear a mask. I know that's each one have their own opinion on that. But I do know that there's a couple of venues that are going to start asking their people, anybody that wants to attend their venues, that they need to be vaccinated or provide a COVID test within 72 hours as well. I think for Celebrity Theater, I heard it's going to start September 20th, I believe. I think I saw a post, and they're part of a group with other venues that they're going to start doing something similar. So that's a great start, just because winter is coming and all of that's coming. So it's no longer the flu season, it's COVID season year round. But I mean, that's a great start for the venues. I mean, there's nothing we can ask the venues. That's great for us.
Thank you, Carlo. Commissioners, other thoughts, questions? Commissioner Pennington?
Mr. Chairman, I'm just wondering what the efficacy is of the mask that most people wear. That you get them in packs of 25 at Home Depot. It doesn't appear to me that offers much protection. N95 masks I know are great protection, but the flimsy little mask that most people are wearing. I'm wondering what the efficacy is as far as protection goes.
Yeah, well, the N95s are the gold standard. I think this point has been made. There's kind of a hierarchy, I guess, when it comes to masks. I think it's pretty much been concluded that cloth masks really offer nothing. The surgical masks, which are the ones I think that you're referring to, I forgot the numbers, Dr. Feinstein. Maybe you know them, but they're better than nothing for sure. They're better than cloth masks, and they're not as good as N95s. So they offer something, but the way that I describe it to my patients, it's essentially layers of shields, right? So being exposed to COVID-19, having had it, having antibodies, that's one layer. Your vaccination is another layer. Your mask is another layer. And I think really the only reason why this deserves and actually demands such respect is because of the chaos and the death that this virus has caused. So, yeah, but I don't know what to tell you about the exact, how this virus penetrates, if at all, a surgical mask.
Thank you, Doctor. Mr. Becerra, our current COVID protocols, are they demanding that commission personnel wear masks?
Yes. So we went back to having all of our commission wear masks, and all the cornermen, as soon as they walk out of our bubble of the back room, to wear masks again. And anybody inside the bubble of the ring or the cage, wear masks. So we went back to that, I want to say, like 3 events ago, just because we don't want to risk getting anybody sick, and we don't want to be the reason of why there's peak in numbers. So we went back to everybody wearing masks.
Understood. Just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
And Commissioner Penton posted an infographic in the comments that answers your question.
I'm sorry, Dr. Feinstein, you did what?
In the comments on this call, there's a comments tab, the in-call messages. I posted a link to an infographic that gives you the percent transmissibility with masking. But essentially, what it says is that if 2 people are standing across from each other and neither of them are masked, it's 90% risk. If the person without COVID is masked, it's a 30% risk. If the person with COVID is masked, it's a 5% risk. If they're both, it's a 1.5% risk.
Thank you, Dr. Feinstein. I am such a Luddite as far as computer technology. Is there any way that Carlo or someone could email that to me?
Yes, I will.
Thank you, Carlo.
Please, Carlo, put me on that list. We will do.
Yeah.
It sounds like there might be an appetite. Is there an appetite on the commission to look at our protocols at the next meeting and at least have a discussion about where we want to go with this?
I think that would be a good idea, especially because I think things are changing almost daily with this. So when is the next commission meeting? Is it in a month?
It's in October 13th, I believe.
Okay. So I have a feeling that it's going to look different. So constantly evolving.
Indeed, it's in every meeting we have a different landscape we have to navigate. But it's probably best, I think, that we at least chat about what our protocols look like and how we want them to look going forward, at least on October 13th. Commissioners, are you guys agreeable to take another look at it?
Certainly.
Yeah, happy to.
Okay. Mr. Becerra, you put that on our agenda for our next meeting?
Sure, I'm writing it down right now. I'll add them for October, okay?
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any other thoughts or questions for Dr. Oda?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank Dr. Oda for the presentation today and his continued involvement in the work that he's doing for the commission.
Oh, my pleasure to do it.
Yes, Doctor, thank you so much. It's so helpful to have you around, and we'll do it again next month too. If you can make it, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, I will be sure to attend.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks again.
Yep.
Let's jump into C, our new business. C1 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. David Haywood for a 2021 professional boxing athlete license. Mr. Becerra, you speak to this application, please.
Yes, Mr. David Haywood submitted all the medical requirements. They were all approved. He's currently scheduled to fight for Thunderbolt on September 18th. I spoke with Mr. Haywood. He trains 5 days a week, up to 3 hours a day. He does cardio before and after. And in that session of 3 hours, he works on hitting mitts, his defense technique, hitting the heavy bag. He spars with his coach and trainers. That being said, we did have one of our officials go see him spar. He looked great, I was told, and I recommend we approve.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Commissioners, thoughts, questions regarding this application?
Mr. Chairman, a question for Mr. Haywood. Have you been licensed in any other state, or is this your first professional licensing?
Mr. Haywood, you're in mute. He's unmuting. I think you turn off the camera. It's right next to it.
Okay, I think I got it now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I have not been licensed in a different state, but I did. I was approved for a boxing license last February with Arizona, right before COVID happened. So I did have to submit all of my paperwork and go through the process last year. But once COVID happened, all of the fights that I had scheduled were canceled, unfortunately. So, but I was approved for a license last year in 2020.
So, Mr. Becerra, is this a new license application or a renewal?
It is a renewal. I just noticed that, but yes, he is correct. He was licensed early last year, but then COVID canceled all the events. So this is technically a renewal.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. And thank you, Mr. Haywood. I appreciate your comments. Mr. Chairman, I have no other,
Mr. Haywood.
I have no
Okay.
other questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Commissioner Feinstein?
No questions from me.
Okay. The chair would be open to a motion that reflects that this is a renewal.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant a renewal license application submitted by Mr. David Haywood for a 2021 professional boxing athlete license pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604, being a fighter over age 36.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Haywood. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. Take care now. We appreciate your time. P2 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Shannon Rich for a 2021 professional MMA athlete license. Mr. Becerra, will you speak to Mr. Rich's application, please?
Yes, Mr. Shannon Ridge submitted all the medical requirements. They were all approved. He currently has a record of over 150 fights. His last fight was January 11, 2020 in Russia. He trains 5 days a week, 2 hours in the morning at Golden Era Muay Thai, and in the evenings he trains 3 hours in his jiu-jitsu school, Canon BJJ. He also coaches in his school, jiu-jitsu. Mr. Ridge has been training lately. He had a scheduled fight in late August in Norway. Unfortunately, the event got canceled, but he's been training. And for someone that has over 150 fights and is not injured and can still fight, I do recommend we approve.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Mr. Rich, are you with us today?
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Hey, doing great. How are you?
I'm fine. Fantastic.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us. Can I ask, is there an event that you're hoping to get licensed for?
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to fight on October 23rd for rough, and then again in November. Just depends on the opponent, and if my opponent gets licensed, then I just want to make sure I'm ready to go, and did all my due diligence, and keep training, and I'm ready to go. I don't plan on fighting for much longer. Actually, 1 or 2 more fights, I'm done. I spoke to my doctor, Ken Oda, who's actually he was a former student of mine in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I just said, I've had a long career, and I'm ready to do something else, do other things, but I got a couple fights left in me, and I like to go out here in my hometown, Arizona, and I also, Carlo, I think this is a renewal, correct? Or because I have been licensed.
You weren't licensed last year.
Oh, last year. Okay. I was going to say I've been licensed before many times. Yeah. So that's it. I just want to fight. I want to fight in my hometown, and then call it a day.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate your thoughts in that regard. Knowing when to fold them is important too, isn't it? So I'm glad to hear you at least have that on the horizon and you're considering it. Commissioners, thoughts, questions for Mr. Rich?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Rich addressed my question as how much longer does he plan on enjoying this? So he has told us another couple of fights.
Yeah, and then we're done. Then we'll do other things. Coaching, acting. Do something else.
Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Feinstein, any thoughts, questions?
No, I have trained with Mr. Rich and have attended seminars at his gym, and I can attest, at least the last time I was there, which was not too long ago, to his certainly his abilities and his enthusiasm for the sport. So I'm definitely supportive, as long as Mr. Rich, no recent injuries or surgery or anything like that would make a difference in your ability to compete?
No, I'm healthy, man. I'm totally healthy. Yeah.
No further questions from me.
Okay, thank you. The chair would be open to a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the new license application for Mr. Shannon Rich pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for a new license application.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Rich. We look forward to seeing you out and about in the next couple months.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
Take care now. Thank you. Item C3 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228A, B, and E, and 5-229, the renewal license application submitted by Mr. George Pineda for Bellator Sports Worldwide LLC, doing business as Bellator MMA, for a 2021 promoter's license. Mr. Becerra, will you speak to this application, please?
Yes, Bellator MMA also applied last year. Unfortunately, COVID hit and they weren't unable to have an event, but they submitted again this year. It's very exciting. I think this is only the third time they came to Arizona. The first two were back in 2013 and 14. They want to have an event at the Footprint Center in October 16th, I believe. They want to bring a title belt, so that's going to be great for Arizona. We're very excited. That being said, the financials were great, and I recommend we approve.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Commissioners, thoughts or questions regarding this application?
Mr. Chairman, I have none. I just want to note that Bellator did a great job when they were here in the past, and obviously they continue to have a presence on television and other areas, so it's a well-known promoting firm.
Thank you, Commissioner. I concur. The events that we've done in the past with them have been terrific, and this one looks to be equally as good. I know local boy Ryan Bader's on that card, amongst others, so it should be a great event. Commissioner Feinstein.
No, I would just echo those sentiments. Always a great promotion, and I've followed Bellator for many years, so I'm excited to have them here in Arizona.
Fantastic. The chair would be open to a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant George Pineda with Bellator Sports Worldwide, doing business as Bellator MMA, a 2021 promoter's license pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228A, B, and E, and 5-229.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations. Looking forward to October 16th.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much. I think I can speak for Bellator in saying that we're all very excited for the fights that we're bringing over there. So looking forward to a good event with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for your time. Appreciate it. All right, let's press on into D, our information reports. D1 is our event reports. The following events were approved by the Executive Director from August 11th, 2021 to September 7th, 2021. The first being a request from Del Sol Boxing for a boxing event to be held at the Glendale Civic Center in Glendale on Friday, October 1st, 2021. The second is a request from Bellator MMA for an MMA event to be held at the Footprint Center, the Phoenix Suns Arena in Phoenix on Saturday, October 16th, 2021. The third is a request to change a date from TGP Promotions for a boxing event to be held at the Footprint Center, the Phoenix Suns Arena in Phoenix from Saturday, August 28th, 2021 to Saturday, November 13th, 2021. And the fourth is a request from OG Boxing for a boxing event to be held at the Glendale Civic Center in Glendale on Friday, December 10th, 2021. D2 is our 2021 event schedule. Mr. Becerra.
The event schedule is still the same. We just added those 5 new fights. Those are the 5 fights that are scheduled. We still, I believe, have another 8 that are tentative. We don't have those until they confirm and they paid. But as soon as they get confirmed and paid, I'll be adding them to the next commission meeting. But yeah, it seems that our second half for 2021 is still going to be quite busy. We have these 5 officially and 8 or 9 pending, so a total of 13 for the next 5 months. I think that's great.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. A question, if I may. how, in the past, when we got busy, we would do multiple events in a night on occasion. How do you feel about our ability to do something like this, going forward, as far as staffing and our ability to do 2 events on the same night?
So we are working on having something very similar coming up in November. The good thing is that we started a new program last year and this year where we started to bring volunteers to shadow our inspectors. That's the main concern we have. We didn't have so many inspectors, but thanks to that program that we put in last year, we have enough inspectors to cover 2 events if that needed to be.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Commissioners, thoughts, questions about the event schedule?
I have none, Mr. Chairman, except to say it's looking really good for the latter part of the year.
Yeah, none from me.
Very good. None here either. It is very promising as promoters get a little more comfortable putting on events, given the current landscape. So we will press on, and I appreciate you pursuing more inspectors, Mr. Becerra. I think it's important at some point, if we keep getting popular like this, at some point it'd be nice to comfortably do 2 events on the same night. But that's going to take a while. It's also going to take you getting some help, I think, too. You get any closer on that?
No, not right now. I know I've been saying every month, next month I'll have an assistant. Not yet. The department is very busy with all the sports wagering, so it's understand that all the resources are going to that. I'm guessing as soon as that goes live, there's going to be more time for looking up for an assistant. But yeah, we're excited with the sports betting, so that's something.
Oh yeah, I would think the department is exciting, to say the least, at this point. Thank you. Let's continue down the path. Item 3 is our commission meeting schedule for 2021. Mr. Becerra, any changes there?
No changes. Just like to always add this so you guys could have in mind what's our next date would be October 13th.
Okay, very good. Commissioners, any questions? There being none, I'm going to jump into the always exciting call to the public. Mr. Becerra, anyone want to chat with us?
I don't see anybody using their hand or anything in the comments. If anybody wants to speak up. No, I don't think there's anybody that has any comments on this.
Okay, thank you. Item F is the call to the commission. Commission members or the executive director may introduce a summary of current events, ask questions, and/or make comments. Commissioners, any thoughts or questions you'd like to bring up?
Mr. Chairman, I have none.
You?
Mr.
Mr. Feinstein?
Chairman, I was just hoping Dr. Oda was going to stay on, but I think he did hop off. But, with the preponderance of orthopedic injuries that we've seen at our MMA events, as well as many of the nationally televised MMA events, I just wonder if it wouldn't be prudent for events that have more than one physician to start leaning towards having one of those physicians be an orthopedic surgeon, or maybe it would be sports or somebody that's in sports medicine, which there are quite a number of those sports medicine physicians here in town that are not, or even some kind of plan where we have an orthopedic advanced practice provider like a PA or an NP, just because I feel like there's an opportunity there to improve safety if we gear our staffing on the medical side more towards the injuries that we expect.
Agreed. It makes perfect sense to me too. And you're right. We're seeing an awful lot of orthopedic type injuries, and it'd be nice to have an expert on site. It's obviously a moving target. Each event is different. The pocketbook is different, and the ability to get these folks can be tricky too. But I agree completely. And we're constantly trying to find good doctors to work with us too. Mr. Becerra, will you speak to that?
Yeah, it would be a great idea. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of doctors that come out and request to join the commission. I know this year we do have one new doctor that has recently joined our commission. He shadowed a couple events, and he just got licensed last week. And there's another one willing to shadow as well. But Commissioner Feinstein, if you do have any recommendation of any good orthopedic doctors or sports doctors that are willing to work with the commission, please give them our information or my email, and I would like to speak with them and see if they could do a couple of our events.
Mr. Becerra, I had a question. One of the things that makes it difficult to recruit physicians, and what my own difficulty in being a ringside physician at the events, is that the 2-day nature of it. Physicians don't have a lot of time outside of their traditional roles, and so if you have to be there for weigh-ins on Friday to do exams, and then Saturday, or be there essentially Saturday morning all the way through Saturday night for 12 plus hours, that's very difficult for many physicians. And I was wondering, at least for the pre-fight physicals, is there anything in statute that prevents us from allowing, say, a nurse practitioner or a PA to do those pre-fight physicals? It wouldn't, from a remuneration standpoint, it's not the same as a physician. And then it would allow us to have a physician, more around fight time. And then I think that would increase our access to physicians overall. I think more physicians would be willing to do it if they knew that it wasn't going to be, a 2-day affair every time they were trying to do ringside work.
So the 2-day, that's only for the big events. For the UFC, the Bellator, the Top Rank, the Matchrooms, that's only for the very big events. For all of our local promoters, it's only on fight day. We do ask the physicians to get there 2 hours before the first fight so they could do all the pre-fight physicals. That way we could get them all right before they fight, make sure that everybody's healthy. But there is in the statutes that all pre-fight, post-fight, and all the medicals have to be done by MD or DO. That is per statute, that we cannot have a nurse practitioner signing off on the physicals or eye exam or doing the pre-fight physicals. Unfortunately, it's per statute. So that's the little thing. But yeah, for our local fights, it's only 1 day. It used to be, or by some physicians' request, like, oh, I would like to do it at weigh-ins, and that's fine. But 99%, it's only on weigh-ins. I'm sorry, only on fight day, but only, again, for the big events where they have the 2, 3, 4 doctors, it is on weigh-ins.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Becerra,
yes.
One question. What became of the emergency room doc that I sent your way a few months ago? Have we spoken to him?
Was that Dr. Abdullah?
Yeah, that's it. If you can't pronounce it, that's him. Yep.
Yeah, he's the one that got licensed. He shadowed Dr. Madugal, Dr. Oda. They speak great of him. I think you did mention that he was also in California. So yeah. He's with us now.
Great. Okay, that's great. He seemed he had the resume and the smarts to really help us out. So I'm glad he's on board. Good.
Yeah. Thank you. I do have a.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Please.
If I might ask a question of Dr. Feinstein, a resident is a licensed physician, right? Could we use residents on those big event days to do the weigh-ins, et cetera, so that we're still complying with the law, but we have a different level of ability, because the residents may not be all that as busy as a regular physician, or they may be busier. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great question. In the past, I think for one UFC event, I did bring a resident with me to help. And so the residents do require supervision by another MD or DO. So, it would really be, you know, that they essentially fall under your responsibility. So if the ringside physician that's official from the state agreed to supervise, then it does meet statute because they are licensed. They have a training license and they are MD or DO. So yes, I think that it would meet statute. I think we would just have to work out with the commission what that teaching relationship looks like. It might be a great opportunity though to get orthopedics at ringside for very little cost. In fact, I think probably most of the residents could not even accept remuneration for this type of activity. So you could get orthopedic surgery residents at the ringside potentially, and not and have their expertise without necessarily having the promoter absorb any additional cost.
Well, that would be a good idea.
Yes, that's a very interesting idea. Let's continue to chew on that as we move forward. I like the sounds of it in every respect. Any other thoughts, commissioners? Mr. Director, anything else we need to talk about right now? Yes.
I just have a comment. This Saturday, we are going to have an inspector training meeting. We're going to do it Saturday morning just to keep fresh with all of our inspectors and all of our new inspectors, just so we could have something there. And not this weekend, but the next weekend, we do have a Thunderbolt event. As of right now, they have 16 fights. So that's going to be a good boxing event at the Arizona Federal Theater. And a quick update on Mr. Todd Whitmoyer. He's keeping up with all his payments. So I believe he only needs 6 more payments, and his fine is fully paid.
That's fantastic. That's great to hear. I did have one question, Mr. Becerra. I tried to look at our calendar online, and it looked like not everything was inputted there. I know you have a lot going on, but I was just trying to take a look at that. Are we trying to keep that up to date?
Yes. After the commission meetings, all the events that get approved, that's when I request to our IT to update that calendar.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Anything else, gentlemen? There being none, I'm going to jump into G, which is the announcement that the next regularly scheduled commission meeting will be at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, October 13th, 2021, and is subject to change based on a quorum, which leads us to H, adjournment. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chairman, I think we're having too much fun. We just need to continue on. I move we adjourn.
I will second that motion, even though I agree we are having a little bit of fun today.
Well, maybe it'll fail in the vote. We never know. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. A narrow 3-0 victory for adjournment, and we are officially adjourned. It's a pleasure to hear your voices. I look forward to shaking your hands at some point, and I really appreciate your time today. Thanks so much, you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Feinstein, Mr. Becerra. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you.